Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome to the Health Breakdown. Thank you for being here today. I want to speak to you about something that might sound surprising at first: fruits. Yes, fruits, the very foods we've been told for decades, are the cornerstone of a healthy diet. But here's the twist. Not all fruits are good for everyone, especially seniors. In fact, some fruits, the wrong ones, could be silently damaging your legs, worsening circulation, increasing inflammation, and even triggering nerve pain or diabetic complications. Shocking, right? Today, we're going to uncover 7 fruits seniors should avoid, and more importantly, why. Because your legs, your mobility, your independence are too precious to lose to something hiding in your fruit bowl. While fruits are often considered the cornerstone of a healthy diet, especially in older age, not all fruits are suitable for seniors. In fact, some fruits, despite being natural and nutrient-rich, can be harmful to seniors, particularly those dealing with diabetes, poor circulation, inflammation, or nerve-related issues. This is primarily because certain fruits contain high amounts of sugar and have a high glycemic index, which can lead to spikes in blood sugar levels and contribute to chronic health problems. Seniors must be aware that the body's ability to process sugar changes with age. What once was easily managed by the metabolism in younger years can become a hidden danger as insulin sensitivity declines and underlying conditions begin to surface. For seniors, consistently high blood sugar can cause long-term damage to blood vessels and nerves. This is especially critical when it affects the legs, where poor circulation and neuropathy are common complications. Damaged vessels mean oxygen and nutrients can't reach the legs efficiently, resulting in pain, numbness, swelling, and a much slower healing process if injuries occur. It becomes clear that fruits, which many view as harmless or even essential, can actually exacerbate these issues when chosen without proper knowledge or portion control. Fruits like bananas, grapes, cherries, pineapple, and mangoes are especially problematic due to their high sugar content and lack of fiber when consumed in excess. The situation worsens with dried fruits and fruit juices. Dried fruits, for example, have had their water removed, making their sugars more concentrated. Just a handful of raisins or dates can deliver as much sugar as a candy bar. Meanwhile, fruit juices, even the 100% natural kind, remove most of the fruit's fiber, causing the sugars to enter the bloodstream rapidly, leading to inflammation and vascular stress. Seniors who regularly consume these foods without realizing their impact could be unknowingly worsening their conditions. It's not about demonizing fruit altogether. Fruits still offer essential vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber that benefit digestion and immune function. However, the key is knowing which fruits to choose and how to incorporate them safely into a senior's diet. Low-sugar fruits like berries, avocados, and green apples are far more appropriate. These fruits not only provide nutritional value, but also have a more stable effect on blood sugar and support better vascular health. For seniors looking to protect their legs and overall mobility, being selective about fruit intake is not just smart, it's necessary. Ultimately, the belief that fruit equals health needs to be revisited, especially in older age. The truth is more nuanced. While fruits can support wellness, the wrong choices can silently erode leg health and independence. Seniors deserve to make informed choices, and that begins with understanding that not all fruits are as safe as they seem. There are certain fruits that, despite being natural and widely consumed, can be harmful to seniors, especially when it comes to leg health and circulation. As people age, the body's ability to handle sugar becomes less efficient, and conditions like type 2 diabetes, peripheral artery disease, and chronic inflammation become more common. While fruits are often considered healthy, some varieties are loaded with natural sugars and can trigger spikes in blood sugar, aggravate inflammation, and silently contribute to poor circulation. These effects can manifest most noticeably in the legs, causing pain, tingling, swelling, and even long-term nerve damage. That's why it's important to know which specific fruits to limit or avoid altogether. Bananas are often seen as a healthy snack due to their potassium content, but they are also relatively high in carbohydrates and natural sugars. For seniors who are insulin resistant or managing diabetes, bananas can cause a sharp rise in blood sugar, leading to poor vascular health and contributing to leg discomfort or fatigue. Grapes are another fruit that seems harmless but contains a significant amount of sugar in a small serving. A few handfuls of grapes can equal the sugar content of a candy bar, and without fiber or fat to slow digestion, this sugar rush can impair circulation and increase inflammation in the lower limbs. Cherries, although rich in antioxidants, are also high in fructose. Fructose is a type of sugar that the liver must process, and excessive amounts can lead to insulin resistance and fatty liver disease. For seniors, this can exacerbate metabolic issues and further reduce blood flow to the legs. Pineapple and mangoes, both tropical fruits, have extremely high glycemic indexes. This means they cause a rapid rise in blood sugar after eating. Over time, these sugar spikes damage blood vessels and nerves, especially in extremities like the feet and legs, leading to symptoms like numbness, burning sensations, and slower wound healing. Dried fruits like raisins, dates, and dried apricots may appear healthy because they are natural, but the drying process removes water and concentrates their sugars. This makes them extremely potent sources of sugar, often delivering more than a candy bar in just a small handful. For seniors, regularly consuming dried fruits can silently damage blood vessels and nerves in the legs. Lastly, fruit juices, even those labeled as 100% pure, should be approached with caution. Juices lack the fiber found in whole fruits, which normally slows the absorption of sugar. Drinking juice is essentially flooding the bloodstream with sugar, which can contribute to inflammation, poor circulation, and leg cramping. Being aware of these specific fruits and their impact on aging bodies is essential. While fruit can still be part of a healthy diet, seniors must be careful with choices that can silently harm leg health. Avoiding or limiting these 7 fruits can help maintain better circulation, reduce inflammation, and protect mobility and independence over time. Excess sugar in the diet can have a devastating impact on leg health, especially for seniors. As we age, our body's ability to manage blood sugar declines. Many older adults develop insulin resistance, diabetes, or vascular issues that make them more vulnerable to the harmful effects of high sugar intake. When seniors consume too much sugar, whether from processed foods, sweet drinks, or even certain fruits, it can lead to a series of health problems that directly affect the legs, often without immediate symptoms. Over time, however, the damage accumulates and becomes visible in the form of pain, swelling, poor circulation, nerve damage, and even immobility. High blood sugar levels cause damage to the blood vessels, particularly the small capillaries that supply the legs and feet. These vessels are delicate and highly sensitive to spikes in glucose. When blood sugar remains elevated, the inner lining of these blood vessels, known as the endothelium, gets damaged. This leads to reduced blood flow, which means oxygen and nutrients can't reach the muscles, skin, and nerves in the legs efficiently. As a result, seniors may begin to notice leg fatigue, tingling sensations, cold feet, or delayed healing of cuts and sores on their lower limbs. In addition to circulation problems, sugar also promotes chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammation is the body's response to injury or stress, but when it becomes constant due to poor diet, it starts to harm healthy tissues. In the legs, this can present as swelling, aching joints, stiffness, or burning sensations. Seniors with conditions like arthritis or peripheral artery disease will find that high sugar intake only makes their symptoms worse. It also increases fluid retention, which causes legs to feel heavy, tight, and uncomfortable. One of the most serious consequences of high sugar intake is peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage that often begins in the feet and legs. Sugar harms the nerves by impairing their blood supply and creating toxic byproducts during metabolism. Seniors with neuropathy may experience numbness, sharp pains, or a loss of balance, making falls and injuries more likely. In severe cases, nerve damage can lead to ulcers, infections, and even amputations, especially in those with poorly controlled diabetes. What makes sugar especially dangerous is how subtly it works. A senior might eat a sweet fruit smoothie or drink a glass of juice every day without realizing the long-term consequences. The effects aren't always immediate, but the internal damage builds slowly. By the time leg pain or circulation problems become noticeable, the damage may already be significant. Protecting leg health means taking sugar seriously. Reducing sugar intake and choosing lower, glycemic foods can help preserve blood vessel function, reduce inflammation, and protect nerves. For seniors, this isn't just about diet. It's about maintaining mobility, independence, and quality of life. Understanding how sugar damages leg health is a crucial step toward making informed choices that support long-term well-being. Dried fruits and fruit juices are often marketed as healthy choices, especially for those trying to eat more naturally or maintain a balanced diet. However, for seniors, these seemingly innocent options can be some of the most harmful when it comes to managing blood sugar and protecting leg health. Unlike whole fruits, dried fruits and juices are highly concentrated sources of sugar, and they lack the natural fiber that helps slow down sugar absorption in the body. As a result, they can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose levels and contribute significantly to inflammation, poor circulation, and nerve damage, particularly in the legs and feet. Dried fruits are essentially whole fruits that have had their water removed. While this process preserves nutrients like potassium and antioxidants, it also condenses the fruit's sugar content into a much smaller volume. A small handful of raisins, for example, contains the same amount of sugar as a full-sized candy bar. Dates, figs, and dried apricots are even higher in sugar per serving. For seniors, especially those with diabetes or prediabetes, this concentrated sugar can overwhelm the body's ability to manage glucose effectively. Frequent spikes in blood sugar lead to the gradual deterioration of small blood vessels, including those that supply oxygen and nutrients to the legs. Without healthy circulation, the legs can suffer from a range of issues. Muscles may become weak and fatigued, the skin may lose its ability to heal properly, and nerve endings may become damaged over time. Seniors who regularly consume dried fruits may unknowingly be accelerating these problems, especially if they believe these snacks are a healthy alternative to sweets. Additionally, dried fruits are often eaten in larger quantities than fresh fruits because they seem lighter and less filling. This leads to overconsumption and even more sugar intake than intended. Fruit juices are equally problematic, if not worse. Even 100% natural fruit juices, with no added sugar, are stripped of most of their fiber during processing. This means that drinking a glass of juice floods the bloodstream with sugar quickly. A single glass of orange juice can contain the juice of several oranges, far more than a person would eat in one sitting. For seniors, this creates a sudden sugar overload that not only impacts insulin function, but also inflames the lining of the blood vessels. Over time, this increases the risk of vascular problems and neuropathy in the legs. Furthermore, many commercially available juices are made from concentrate or contain added sugars and preservatives, making them even more harmful. They may appear as healthy choices because they come from fruit, but in reality, they act more like sugary soft drinks once they enter the body. For seniors trying to preserve their mobility and avoid chronic leg problems, steering clear of dried fruits and juices is a critical step. Whole fruits with natural fiber, consumed in moderation, are a far better option. The goal is not to eliminate fruit from the diet, but to make smarter choices that support long-term leg and vascular health.